everyone and welcome. My name is Christine and in today's video I would like to talk about your rights as an employee for taking sick leave in the United States. Let's start off with the bad news. According to the Department of Labor, there are no federal legal requirements for paid sick leave in the United States. And let me just let you in on a little secret. Here, come closer, come closer. There are parts of the world that it's not like this. But let's not dwell on the negatives because we can't always choose where we live, so we might as well look at the rights that we do have. Today, I'm going to talk about FMLA, which stands for Family and Medical Leave Act. This is what you can use if you need to take off time for work for medical reasons. What FMLA does, it provides you protection for up to 12 weeks worth of time, but this time does not have to be paid. Whether this is paid or not is generally up to a company policy, but there is no uniform law for it. What this purely means is for any time that you take using FMLA, you are protected from losing your job and your company must continue to provide you with any health benefits that you might have for the job. Your company in no way can use this time off against you. What are the 4 scenarios that the government says that you can use FMLA for? The first one is for birth and care of a newborn child. The second is placement with an employee of a child from adoption or foster care. The third one is to care for an immediate family member with a serious health condition. And the last one is medical leave for yourself when you are unable to work because of a serious health condition that makes you unable to perform the functions of your job. For taking your own medical leave, your company may require you to have a certification from a healthcare provider. They also can require that you get a second and third opinion to justify this leave. However, if they require these extra opinions, that has to be at the employer's expense. And lastly, your company can also require that you get a recertification every so often. I know at my job, I have to get recertifications every 6 months. Legally, what companies are required to provide employees with FMLA rights? Employees are eligible to take FMLA leave if they have worked for their employer for at least 12 months and have worked at least 1,250 hours, so averaging about 24 hours a week, over the previous 12 months, and work at a location where at least 50 employees are employed by the employer within 75 miles. I always thought in order to get FMLA, you needed to have an event actually happen and then you have the doctor fill out the paperwork. But that's not necessary. If you have a chronic medical condition that may result in you having flare-ups, you may be eligible to take FMLA on something called an intermittent basis. So for example, because I have CVID, common variable immune deficiency, I might have periods of where I am too sick to work, in which case FMLA covers me. You can also use FMLA to cover any ongoing treatment or doctor's appointments which you are required to attend. So examples of ongoing treatment can include if you're getting chemotherapy, if you're going to physical therapy, or for someone like me, if I had to go in for my infusions. Now I do my infusions at home, so that doesn't affect my work schedule at all. FMLA can also give you a reduced work schedule. So basically, you might need to work less hours in a day or less days in a week. It should be noted though that employees must make a reasonable effort to schedule these doctor's appointments or any treatment in order to not interrupt their work schedule. This is not always possible, so in that case, you can use FMLA to cover you for the time off. Generally, if you have a foreseeable event that will require you to be out of work for these reasons, you must provide your company with at least a 30-day notice. Obviously, not everything is foreseeable, especially if it's because you're having a flare-up right then and there. In this case, you must let your employer know ASAP when you will be out. The downside is these 12 weeks do not restart every time you use them, and they collectively add up. They also add up whether it's for different conditions or for the same thing. For example, say you have a serious medical condition that resulted in you using 3 weeks at a time in the start of the year. Now say you're pregnant and you'd like to take the time off after having your baby. Legally, your job only has to allow you to take 9 weeks of time after having this baby because you've already used 3 weeks earlier in the year. Think that's messed up? Yeah, me too. Once your FMLA has been approved, your job does not need you to provide any further information for using this time off. If you require additional time than what has already been deemed in your conditions, then you will require extra documentation. I would also like to add that the approval process for FMLA is done by an outside company, and your manager does not find out what your reason for using FMLA is unless you reveal this information to them yourself. Now, obviously, if you're using it after pregnancy, your manager is going to know why. The only information that is given to your manager following approval is what the direct conditions are. For example, if you're going out for a planned surgery, your doctor may say that you require 5 weeks off after the surgery to heal. This obviously can change depending on how your healing is. For the use of intermittent FMLA, your doctor will list the frequency of episodes and an estimated duration. For example, your doctor may say that you can have a flare-up once a month lasting up to 3 days. They also can stipulate how often you require your ongoing treatment. As an example, they can say that you require a follow-up doctor's appointment every 3 months lasting up to 3 hours. These are just examples. Obviously, your direct scenario will be up to your physician. That's it for today. I hope you learned something about FMLA and our little rights we have in the United States about taking time off of work when you are sick. Bye!